Hello, welcome. This is the Chicago Bears Huddle podcast. I'm Owen James, and this is your UK take on our Chicago Bears. We are back, guys, back in business here on the Chicago Bears Huddle podcast after a while off because of a lot of things that are going on in my personal life. Just an awful lot of things. I lost my mum in May to cancer. That was horrible, but there we go. Look, we are ready to move on. We're ready to kind of start up this channel and get the channel going again, especially as we're obviously fast approaching the start of Chicago Bears training camp. Training camp officially opens. The first open practice is on July the 25th. However, rookies will report on the 19th and team vets will report on the 22nd. There will be 11 open practices in total at Hallis Hall by the Bears, with the last open practice scheduled for the 15th of August. Now, one player that we've kind of got to slightly have a little bit of a concern, well, two players actually, realistically, that there is a slight concern over going into training camp is the overall first round pick, the number one pick for the Bears in this year's draft, Colston Loveland, and of course the left tackle Braxton Jones. But let's start obviously with talking a little bit of Colston Loveland. Now, Loveland was picked as the top tight end in the draft, and I think there is exceptionally high expectations for Colston Loveland as a receiver and as a tight end for the Bears. People have even talked about, comparisons to Travis Kelce from Colston Loveland. Now, Colston Loveland has missed all of rookie minicamp. He's missed OTAs. He's missed mandatory minicamp. He's missed non-mandatory minicamps. He's missed everything. Now, he has taken part in those things as in kind of non-contact, non-team based activities, very much individual activities. And that is because, of course, as we know, he is recovering from a shoulder injury that required surgery. That surgery has obviously taken place and he's obviously on the rehab now. However, the reports that were coming out post, obviously, minicamp was that Loveland would be ready to start training camp from day one and that he would be good to go. Now, it seems that those reports do not match up and that those expectations are very different. That the reality of the situation is not that Loveland will be ready and able to start from day one of training camp. This, of course, will set him back in his rookie season. It's important, I think, for rookies to get in there, to get in with their teammates, to get into the sort of the swing of things, get into how the offense works. And, you can do as much as you can on your own. You can sit and learn as many playbooks as you want. But if you're not actually out there taking reps and practicing, then you are falling further and further behind. Loveland, it looks like I said, he will not be there to start. Now, that's a massive concern. It's a massive concern. Now, what did he have? He had shoulder surgery to repair the AC joint injury. And contrary to a lot of the glowing spins and the glowing reports on the situation, it now looks like there isn't a chance that he is there to begin training camp. When OTAs ended, Ben Johnson was asked about Colston Loveland and the possibility of him being there at training camp. And this is what Ben Johnson had to say. He said, "To be honest with you, I haven't even looked that far ahead. We will get that before we officially break for summer, just the expectation for camp and who's going to be full go on day one and who is still limited and working. I don't have the answer for you at this moment." So Ben Johnson wasn't as clear on that. He wasn't dismissive. He wasn't positive about it. But a lot of the reports that were coming out of the Bears were that Loveland would be ready to go. In fact, Colston Loveland, when he was asked, said this. He said, "That's the plan, just working every day to get there." Well, as Mike Tyson once famously said, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face. And that's certainly the situation. Plan and reality, obviously two very different things. So, rehab has taken up completely all of his pre-season, his off-season so far for the Bears. He's been asked about how it's been going. He's asked about the rehab and all this, and he said, "It's been good. There haven't really been live bullets flying yet. We really know in camp, once I get out there, I'll be doing a lot more stuff." I think realistically now, we're probably looking at him missing at least the first couple of weeks of training camp, which, is not good at all. Yes, we'll probably know more by July the 22nd as to exactly where we are with Colston Loveland. But the fact that this guy, obviously, the first overall pick in the draft for the Bears, at pick 10, is not going to be there from day one practicing, again, puts him further and further behind. He is going to suffer a setback going into that first season. We're perhaps not going to see the best of Colston Loveland in this first year. We're more likely to see the best of him in his sophomore year, in his second year. And that's a worry, and that's a concern, and that's not good. And a lot, obviously, then will fall on Cole Kmet, who there's been questions over Cole Kmet and his future at the Bears. I don't think Bears will trade him away or cut him. I think he will be here through the entirety of next season. Whether he still is the season after that, obviously, will be then open for debate. Personally, I like Cole Kmet. I think going into any season with two good tight ends like Kmet and Loveland is positive. But Loveland been injured and not been fully ready to go from day one is a huge concern. Like I said, we'll know more as of July the 22nd. On that day, newly extended GM Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson will address the media as before the start of practices. So we will know at that point what the situation is with Colston Loveland. We will know whether or not he is able to start or when he is able to start practicing with the Bears. Obviously, the other one, is the Braxton Jones situation. Braxton Jones obviously had a broken ankle, is recovering from that broken ankle. But it seems that it's been, a massively closely guarded secret as to where we're up to with Braxton Jones's recovery. And certainly Kieran Amagaji, Ozzy Trapillo have been taking all of the reps at left tackle during minicamp, rookie minicamp, and so on and so forth. So, I think, again, Trapillo and Amagaji are further ahead than Braxton Jones is. I know Jones isn't really that highly regarded by the fan base as a left tackle, but he's not great. He's not awful. He's just decent. He's average. He's okay. So there will obviously be a battle in camp. Now, whether Braxton Jones is part of that battle and where he starts it in the kind of pecking order for that battle is a question once he is fully back. How quickly he gets back will, I think, help to determine who starts at left tackle on the first day of the season against Minnesota. If it is that Braxton Jones is in a position to start from day one or as close to day one as he can, then probably Braxton Jones carries favouritism going into camp that he could well be the starting left tackle. He certainly has the experience, and obviously Ozzy Trapillo is, I think, the long-term answer, but he is a rookie. He's still learning his game. But the Bears do need to move on in terms of contract situations. Obviously, Braxton Jones, will be looking for a new deal in a year's time. And, given the fact that some very average, awful players have been paid a lot of money at left tackle, the Bears certainly won't want to overinvest in Braxton Jones. I mean, witness the amount that Dan Moore, who is pretty shit, was paid to go to Tennessee Titans to sign a contract there. So, look, it's all interesting stuff at this point in time, isn't it? And I think, the real big thing for the Bears is having as many of the players fit and ready to go on day one of the camp. And like I said, I think we'll know more come July the 22nd, but it is a concern. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this UK take on our Chicago Bears in the Chicago Bears Huddle podcast, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.